I asked some of the members on my channel this week the question, are all the deal breakers you make before you meet somebody, are they all unforgivable? Or is there wiggle room there? And it got me thinking, could you forgive a deal breaker with someone in context? Let me tell you a personal story that changed my mind about deal breakers. When I was in my 20s, one of my deal breakers was I'll never go out with anyone who smokes. And then in my 30s, I met someone who did smoke, and it was one of the best relationships I'd had till that point in my life. So it really opened my eyes in terms of the context in which deal breakers actually apply. Your theory on deal breakers versus the reality of them in real life. And the context in which they're not as big a deal if a person's got a lot of great qualities. So it's kind of stupid just to break up with them because of something that really doesn't have a big effect on the way you live and how you want to be with each other. If someone is 80 or 90% right for you, where everyone else was like 10% right for you, why would you throw the relationship away for the 10% that didn't quite fit and really didn't affect your relationship that much? It was their thing and they didn't impose it on you. Could you live with it? That's a very, very important question. That's reality. That's just not kind of safe, idealistic fiction when you're single and proclaiming what a righteous person you'd be if someone did this to you and that to you, and you'd really tell them, and you would be kind of cold and righteous and everyone would pat you on the back. It's easy to talk tough beforehand, and maybe you've experienced this before where you think you know where you stand on a situation and you're very firm on it, but then you find yourself in it, or you find yourself in a relationship with somebody, and all of a sudden what you thought was a deal breaker isn't anymore. Now look, of course, before we meet someone, when we're single, when we're anticipating and looking forward to a certain life with someone, we're imagining our ideal partner. It's very common. We've all done it. We imagine scenarios, how we'd be, what the person would be like, how they treat us. It's similar to when we talk about what would you do if you won the lottery, how you'd change, how you wouldn't change, what kind of person you'd be. It's a way of talking about your values, how you'd be, how your life would be, what you would and wouldn't put up with, how you would live, you know? And I think it's a similar thing we do when we're imagining these scenarios based upon what we would and wouldn't do if we were to have a relationship in the future. That's what I was thinking about in terms of deal breakers. Do we set them when we're single? Do we hold so firm that we idealistically never shift from them, even if we meet a wonderful person and our idealism can actually break us apart because you're holding on to the ideals of a myopic 20-year-old and you're now a 40-year-old man, and you're choosing the values of a 20-year-old you, the deal breakers of the 20-year-old you. I think it's pretty silly. And sure, there's a difference between cheating and losing your temper or patience or forgetting an anniversary or something. No shit. Some of our deal breakers that we make when we're single in preparation for a relationship and how we think we'll be and what we'll stand up for and what our yeses and nos will be is that there's a big difference between someone cheating on you and living a double life and lying to you consistently over time compared with someone who's consistently been a good relationship for you. You've trusted them, you love them, and they have a lapse in judgment. They make a mistake, they lose their temper, and even they find it surprising and they apologize and you find it surprising. I think in that context, where it's a momentary reaction, you've got a better chance of forgiving. And I think in various cases, you're better off forgiving for everything you've put in and potentially everything you're going to throw away for a momentary reaction compared to someone lying over time, being a completely different person, leading a double life, changing who they are and going in a completely different direction. And you can't follow them because they don't match your values anymore. They're not the same person anymore. That's very different. Those deal breakers I can get behind 100% in a more idealistic way because they affect the quality of your life. They're no longer the person you chose. Because you can't just lump in all deal breakers into one perfect bag, and the moment the person's not perfect, you consider breaking up a relationship. I think that's childish and it's really short-sighted. You can't lump in cheating with forgetting your birthday. I mean, no kidding. Yes, they're both important, but come on. We need to be more mature about these things. And again, you make a decision to dump your partner because they're not perfect. You're going to be left with that decision later on. You can blame them all you want, but you should also be pointing to yourself and saying, well, are you as perfect as the standards by which you're ready to dump any relationship if it's not exactly the way you think it should be, without any wiggle room to move as a human being? Would you like to be forgiven if you make a mistake? I would say a good barometer is to take deal breakers seriously when they're values-based, when they're virtue-based, when the actual person's character, who they are, they change or they've been lying to you all the time. But momentary lapses, I think it's up to the situation and you as a person, how big a deal you think it is, because there is no one size fits all. For me, I don't care. I really don't care how many men a woman slept with. I don't. Whereas for a lot of guys, they do. Most guys want a family. I don't. So you really need to look at what your own values, what ethics you set up for yourself, and to be realistic, given the situation and the person you're with, what you can live with and what you can't. Don't tolerate it because you don't want to be alone. Be real about that. But be real about what you're being righteous about when you're single compared to you've got a flesh and blood human being in front of you that you care about and you're ready to just dump them because of the values you made before you met them. You're not taking your relationship where you are and them into context either. So just something to think about. Could you coldly dump someone via your idealistic deal breakers after you've had a consistently good relationship for years? Could you do it? Could you live with it? Would you be regretting it later? Would you be thinking about it all the time? Would it be haunting you? Would you be spending the rest of your life making YouTube videos, talking badly about women and how your ex did this or that, but secretly you wish you could have your time again and maybe just be a little bit more patient? I'm not saying you did the wrong thing, but maybe. I think a lot of our frustration is born out of maybe immaturity or not being as calm and reflective in the situation. And if we were to have the chance to do it all over again, we probably would have done it differently. So could you dump a relationship with your predetermined deal breakers, and would you be able to live with it? Would you regret it later? Because you're left with the choice for the rest of your life if you break up, if you break that relationship off. Are you going to make the decision that all guys should make? Because the guys aren't going to be left with your decision, you will. You're going to be living with that. They're not going to regret it. They're not going to care. It's very black and white for them because they don't have any skin in the game. You do. Are you going to choose the single you with the guys righteously making idealistic rules of perfection that you, by the way, probably don't have yourself? You'll be left with regret if you don't make the right decision, not the guys. Theory versus real life. Bravado before versus reality later. I think it's very interesting to ponder that question. Is every deal breaker you make on paper and in the comment section when you're single, standing up for your values, which is important, they're great barometers, are they really applicable in the situation? And don't get me wrong, I think the deal breakers we make when we're single, where we know where we stand, where we will and won't be taken advantage of, they're great to be able to say no to the wrong kind of people during the dating phase, those initial few dates. To say no to people where you just feel like you don't get along. And then you can point to a deal breaker and say, oh yeah, there's a deal breaker. That's why I'm not going to go out with them anymore at the start. But later on, I think there's a bit of a gray area. And I think it's interesting to think about. I think there should be more discussion about this. I'd love to hear your experiences down below in the comments section. Let me know if this has happened to you. You are very righteous about your rules and your deal breakers, but then when you met someone who was really great and you had a great relationship with them, all of a sudden they weren't such a big deal. What's opened your eyes? And now you don't think the same way. Now, I'm not saying to throw out all deal breakers, but you know what I mean. Also, don't forget to become a member. Hit the join button underneath my banner on my YouTube channel, next to the subscribe button, which you should also click. Share this video and other videos around. If you want to say thank you, there are links below if you feel like supporting the channel, and I'll catch you in the next video, guys. Bye.